Okay, we're now on live on YouTube as well.
Nice.
Yeah. This is okay. Let's close it. Close this one. Okay. Okay, let's wait a few minutes.
Yeah, sure.
There were about 40 people
Oh, nice.
that registered to this webinar. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah, yeah. ערב טוב, אוהד, אנחנו כבר נתחיל. אנחנו נחכה עוד כמה דקות, רק בשביל לאפשר גם לאחרים להיכנס. אוקיי, אז כמו שאמרתי, אנחנו נחכה עוד עכשיו 82 דקות, נחכה עוד איזה דקה-שתיים, ואז אנחנו נתחיל. אנחנו גם משודרים בחי ביוטיוב, אז ככה שזה... אוקיי, אז מי שרוצה לצפות בזה ביוטיוב, זה גם כן אפשרי מהערוץ, פאוור בי ישראל, הערוץ ביוטיוב שלי. וכבר אנחנו נתחיל, לילה כבר מוכנה, אנחנו עוד דקה מתחילים. אוקיי, מי שנכנס ושומע שקט, זה אנחנו עוד דקה מתחילים, אנחנו התארגנויות אחרונות ואנחנו כבר מתחילים. Leila, are you ready to start?
Yes, I'm ready, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I introduce you in Hebrew, and after it, I will pass the microphone to you.
Thank you.
אוקיי, אז ערב טוב לכל הצופים ולכל המשתתפים שהגיעו לוובינר הזה. אני מארח בוובינר הזה, בעבר עשיתי וובינר עם כל מיני גורואים ו-MVPs מכל העולם. היום אני מארח MVP מניו זילנד, לילה עטאטי, שהיא בעצם MVP בתחום של פאוור BI, ובעיקר החלק של ה-AI, שזה הבינה המלאכותית, ה-Artificial Intelligence, בפאוור BI ובכלל, והיא עושה בעצם הרצאות ועוברת בעולם, ובעצם זה מה שהיא עושה למחייתה. ולפני שאני אעביר את המיקרופון, אני רוצה רק לשתף אתכם בכמה דברים כדי רק שתדעו, קודם כל אנחנו משודרים כרגע, אנחנו באוויר בפאור בי איי ישראל, בערוץ יוטיוב, בערוץ יוטיוב שלי, אתם מוזמנים כמובן להצטרף. בואו רגע נזיז את זה רגע לפה. אוקיי, אם אתם לא מכירים עדיין את הקבוצה בפייסבוק, את הקבוצה אקסל ופאור בי איי, הקבוצה של חברת יוניק, אז אתם כמובן מוזמנים להצטרף. בקבוצה הזאת אני בעצם מעלה את כל הוובינרים, את ההודעות, את כל הקורסים שאני מוציא לאחרונה בזום. התחלתי לעשות קורסים בזום מפאת המצב עם הקורונה. שני קורסים שאני עומד לפתוח ממש אחרי החגים, זה קורסים של פאור בי איי, גם קורס ערב ובימי שלישי וגם קורס בוקר. אני אשים לכם את כל הכישורים, נמצאים בתוך הקבוצה, אבל אני אשים את זה גם בצ'אט. ואם אתם רוצים גם לראות, יש לי גם אתר עם אזור של הורדות חינם של כל מיני דברים שאתם מוזמנים להוריד, גם בנושא של פאור בי איי וגם בנושא של אקסל. ואני רוצה לא לבזבז עוד הרבה זמן ולהעביר את השרביט ואת המיקרופון לגברת לילה עטאטי. Good morning. Leila, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks so much. How are you?
I'm fine, I'm great. Leila is from New Zealand, so it's 5 o'clock in New Zealand, so we wake her up so early today. So I apologize for that.
No, it's all good. Yeah, it's great to present. Thank you.
Yeah, and I want to, in advance, thank you for participating in my webinar as a guest. I will pass now the microphone to you and all the stage to you.
Thanks so much. Could I just have able to share the screen?
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Oh, yep. I think it's going well now. Cool. Okay. So. Can you hear? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Awesome, cool. Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Leila from Radacat. Today I'm going to talk about anomaly detection and entity extraction from text in Power BI Desktop. But before that, just some overview. Thanks so much, Shlomi, for inviting me to present in this user group. You already introduced just some couple of things. So I'm doing AI and Power Platform. So that's why I'm an AI and Power Platform MVP. That means that I'm looking for any AI feature that we have in Power BI, in SQL, in Azure, in Microsoft Power Apps, and Power Automate. So I'm really interested in all of the AI features and visualization, of course, in these applications. So there are a couple of books about these things. So if you're interested to know more, you can check it out on them. Some of the books will be also coming soon about the new features of Power BI. So I'm based in Auckland. I'm running a user group and SQL Saturday in New Zealand, Auckland. And yeah, so this is all about. If you have any question, if you have a question about the webinar or other things, this is my email address, leila@radacat.com, and also my Twitter handle. So that's be great to be in touch. So what I'm going to talk, today I'm going to talk about anomaly detection. So in general, anomaly detection is the process of detecting time series data outliers. Point on giving input time series where the behavior isn't was expected. So this is a definition for a specific type of a time series that we have based on the time. So that means that we're looking for some behavior that is not following the previous, the normal behavior. So for example, you see in the picture, we see this cat is an anomaly if you want to compare it with the others. So because it has different things. So this is a very general definition about anomaly detection specific for the time series data. So in general, anomaly detection can be used in different industry. For example, in a car accident, um, we can say, is the oil gauge reading normal or do I have a leak? If you are monitoring the power consumption, you know that is normally the consumption is in specific range. When you monitor it and you find it out that is going to be lower or higher, you will find out that some anomaly happened and kind of predicting this anomaly and find out this anomaly can help you to prevent the car accident. So there are in general for the anomaly detection of the time series, we have two types of the anomaly. One of them is spike that actually indicate temporary of anomaly behavior in a system. For example, in a greenhouse, for example, we have some flowers in a greenhouse and suddenly the temperature going up or down. So that's only a spike. Yeah, that's changes can actually make some harms to the plants and the flowers that we have, but it's actually just a one point of the data, as you can see in the actually in the chart here, just one point of the data. But sometimes it's just a start and they indicate the beginning of a persistent change over the time. For example, you can see in the picture in these charts is a start and is going on for a while. For example, in the car accident and for example, oil leakage, that can be that. So for a couple of, for example, for an hour, you have an oil leakage that the consumption, for example, from 40 liters suddenly goes to the, for example, 60 or 70 and is a stay for a couple of hours. So these actually two type of the anomaly, time series anomaly that we have in our data. So in general, for the anomaly time series and also for the anomaly detection, they can be used in different industries. In environmental, you can find, I remember I have a scenario for a customer about 2 years ago that then we put a sensor, we use the Raspberry Pi and the other stuff to check the temperature of the actually greenhouse. So in New Zealand, we have lots of farm and actually lots of flowers and plants and greenhouse. So we actually put a sensor using a Raspberry Pi over there to monitor the temperature, because if the temperature going very high or very low is damage the planet. And we use the IoT scenario, Event Hub and IoT Hub to send it back the streaming data to the Power BI to detect these anomalies. So that's a really practical example that exists. You can, if you are in a different industry, definitely you have some more examples. So it can be used in different scenarios. It's a general problem that we can have in social media, in transportation, finance and insurance, smart home, manufacture, and many other. Okay, so this is a general things for actually for different industries. So what we have, what tools we have. So I'm going to talk about the Microsoft anomaly detection approaches that we have. So in general, for the any AI and ML scenario, artificial intelligence and machine learning scenario, we have two approaches in Microsoft tools. One of them is about the pre-built AI that today I'm going to talk about them. And we have an approach as custom AI. So pre-built AI is referred to the approaches that we can actually, we don't need to write any code on machine learning languages like R and Python. There are some pre-built AI tools that we can use them, like Microsoft Cognitive Services, that today we are going to see that how we can use it inside Power BI. The other way is about the custom AI. That means that you have your own code on R and Python, and you want to actually to write your own algorithm and then embed it in the Microsoft tools. So that's also possible. So in some scenario, you find out that the pre-built AI is so limited. We are going to look at them today. And you see that actually they are not enough. So you prefer to write your own R and Python or machine learning tool. So that's another approach. For this scenario, for time series anomaly detection, we are going to look at the pre-built AI inside Power BI. So the one that we have is anomaly detection time series. and is actually is able to find abnormality in your time series with a machine learning, detect anomalies as they occur in a real time, also is able to detect anomaly in a batch data, and is able to give more additional information like, okay, this is anomaly, what is the expected value, or what is the boundary of the normal data, what the data should be, and you're able also adjust the boundary one. So I'm going to show you a website that Microsoft Cognitive Service has. We are going to look at that. As you can see here, is actually is a website that you're able to give you to sample of the data, and you can check it. Also, you can check it with your own data. First of all, I'm going to show you to that sometimes that website not working very well. However, I capture a video on that. But first of all, let me show you there, then we can actually go there. So before I'm going ahead, let me back to the Microsoft Cognitive Services. So this is a website, this is Azure Microsoft Cognitive Services. If you go to the Microsoft Azure, to the product, if you go to the product, to the AI and machine learning, you can go to the Azure Cognitive Services. So that's a website that we are in. And here you can see that we have some pre-built AI tools here, from decision, from language, speech, vision, and web search. I'm sure that many of you already actually use some of these or face some of them, because it's in Power BI. Also, there are some of them has been used. So as you see in the decision, under the decision, we have anomaly detector. And you can see it's still in preview. That means that it can change a lot. So still, they change it. They may, the interface may change and the other things. So, and also, so I'm going to actually open it. So that's a website here. So it shows some information. But actually there is a help on that actually help you to grow that. That's a documentation, anomaly detector API. And under that, there is a demo. So it's actually help you to have a better understanding of how anomaly detection works. And then we are actually can use it. So here in this demo, you can see that we have 3 samples of the data. One of them doesn't have any kind of pattern. Another one, that's a sample 2. You see that you can see some frequency on that. And the third one is actually has a really good seasonality. You can see the pattern on that. And here also you can see we can have apply anomaly detector for the last API. That means that for streaming data, as data arrive to you, actually data comes to your Power BI, is point by point is going to detect the anomaly. The other one is actually as a entire data set, so it's going to find anomaly in whole data set. And actually the other one is actually using the going to the anomaly detector and set it up inside the Azure one. So here, what you need actually, you need the endpoint and you need a key. So there are a couple of ways that actually you can do that. You can click on the get the key. So if you is your actually you just want to try it, you can use the Azure account to try it. So you can start free and it navigate you to the Microsoft Azure. And here is actually you can create in Microsoft Azure, you can create an anomaly detection service that is actually give you a key. So that's a key that I'm going to use. So that's a key that we need. I'm just going to put it here. This is my key. And you're going to see that sometimes the website not work very well. That's why I'm actually do that. So as you see, it's not sometimes always great workings these days. I don't know, maybe they are doing some changes on that. But normally when you actually run it, if you look at this one, the API working. So for example, let me go the previous slide. So actually, if you're coming into this website, normally when you click on the sample 1 or sample 2 and put the key over here and click on start, is going to identify the different point of the anomaly here. You see the red sign over here, and also is able, you can set how much it can be sensitive. So for example, here we are put the sensitive really high, or you can change it to for example 25. So as you can see, is able to find more point of the data. But in another example that actually is here, you can bring your own data set by clicking on choose local file, and is able to find the actually point. So this is just a demo one. We are not going to work with that. I just want to show it how it works. We are going to actually do this API for creating anomaly detection inside Power BI. So the data that we have inside Power BI, so we are going to see that how we can do that. So let's start with that. So the data that I have, if I want to show you, is this type. Also, I can share it after the session. So it is the data that I have. As you see, is just 24 rows of the data. Is the different times. So as you see, from 1st of the March 2017 to the 24th of the March of 2007 and 2017. And these are the data that I have. So as you can see here, with a kind of, this is small parts of the data. Normally, we have huge amount of the data. You can say that, okay, I can see 77 or maybe 32 or 34 is not in the same range, or 87. So I want to use this one to actually detect the anomaly in my data. So this is the data that I have. So I'm going to actually to import the data over here. I'm going to actually create a new group here. Call it okay, so I'm going to actually to create a new blank query here. So it actually is empty. If you look at the advanced editor here, you will see that is actually is kind of the blank query over here. So where am I actually? I'm in a Power Query editor. Is a place that actually you can call any cognitive services from there. And we need to create a function to see that how to access the cognitive services. I click on the advanced editor. I'm going to paste the code. I will explain the code a bit so you can understand how it works. Let me copy and paste. So here, what I'm going to do, first, let me remove everything here. So let me zoom it so you can actually, I can, no, not this one. Sorry. Okay, maybe, okay. Oh, it's not available now. Let me check it that if I have access to that one. I think it's not some problem. Okay, so I try to kind of, let me explain through the code here so I can kind of zoom more so you can see the data better. So just putting on 18. Okay, that's clear now. So what I have here, so in Power Query, we have a body of the functions or anything that we are going to write that is actually from here to here. So I use the phrase let, and I use the phrase actually in. So in the let, you write any code that you have, is like a body of your function, and under the in, you actually shows your output. So there are two parts. So here is a part that we are going to write our function body here. The function that we are going to write is going to get a table from your Power BI, and then it's going to connect to Microsoft Cognitive Services and apply the anomaly detection on that, and then get the result, and then send it to the Power BI in the variable result. So how it happens? So as you see here, this is my input. So I need to provide a table for my function. The other part that is actually this, I can say this part is kind of common between all of the functions for connecting to the Microsoft Cognitive Services. So for any of them, so if I just show you, here you see, remember we have different one, mostly for the language, text analytics, and the other. This part is so similar to others. So what we are going to do, we get the API key. So we need to get a API key from actually the anomaly detection. You remember I get it from my Azure account, or if you have for example, a free one, you can use that one. So this is the API key that we need. Then we need the endpoint. So this endpoint can be different from service to service. So most of them, they have a region. I think that the anomaly detection for now, because it is preview, it just worked for the US, East US, and the US region. I tried, for example, with the Australia one, it doesn't work very well. So for now, because it is preview, so anomaly detection mainly used. So when you set it up inside here, just make sure that you choose the location on the East US or the Central US. The rest of the API is related to the anomaly detector. If you are going to consuming other ones, so for example, in another example that I have here, I want to show you. This is, for example, for the text analytics. So you see that is actually says API.cognitive text analytics and the other. So they are kind of the same thing. Again, you need the API and you need the region. After that is going to convert it to the, actually the table is going to kind of do some prepare the data format to send it to the service, to the Microsoft Cognitive Services, convert it to the binary one, and is going to get the, actually to set some parameters. So we send the text that we have, we can specify that how's the sensitivity of the anomaly detection. It can be 95%. The data set is daily or yearly or hourly. We can mention that. And also then here you see that we have a function named web.content. So web.content is actually a function in Power Query that get the endpoint and also the input data and send it to the Microsoft Cognitive Services, and then the result will be back and stored into the variable. So this part in anomaly detection is like this. In other services, for example, for text analytics, language detection, you can see that they are kind of the similar with very small changes. So that's the part that actually we send the data. The rest actually is about data transformation. So this is the result that I actually get. So the result is stored in the JSON response, and then the rest is about data kind of cleaning and get the data from JSON format. So the output that we get is about the time stamp value, is anomaly happen or not, expected value, upper margin, and the other thing. So this is actually what is happened. So I'm not going to very deep. It's an M language, maybe a bit complicated. So this is a kind of one that we have. So I just need to replace the code here. That's one actually works. Let me double check if I just want to check something to see. Yes, I think that code is working. Okay, so here, I just paste it here and I'm going to, yep. So this is a code that I have. So if I click on that, you see that it's changed to the fx. That means that it is a function. I'm going to change it to the UG anomaly detection. Okay, so this is a function that I have. And as you remember, I mentioned that I need a table. So that's why you see the parameter as a table here. So I'm going to pass the table that I have. I think, let me double check, it was, which one? This one. Okay, anomaly detector. So I'm going to send that one and invoke. So when I invoke, actually, that means that it's going to connect to the Microsoft Cognitive Services, and you can see is repeated the input, that was the time and the value, but also it has another column that is anomaly. So if you see that, if I just, let me say, it shows me the true one. So yes, by actually without any application, we know that 87 and 77 are anomaly, but 34 and 36 also kind of anomaly according to the data. And what is the expected value? So based on the data that we have, so 87 should be 29, and actually, and also, so it provides some expected value. And you can see here also what is the upper margin and lower margin of that. So there's a couple of problems with this data. So it's very a small portion of the data. So it's better that you have more data over here. Another thing is that the algorithm that we have is already trained. So if you want a specific algorithm with a specific parameter, this approach is not really good. You can create your own machine learning algorithm inside Azure Machine Learning and call it from here, or you can embed your code. If it's R or Python, you can here. So the function that you can see here is actually that we check it out through here. Let me back this one. The anomaly detector. This actually is already trained. So we just provide the data and use it. So if you want to have some more complicated anomaly detector time series and you want to train it based on your data and create it, then this one is not really good. This is just applied for general use and for kind of the general specific actually data that we have. So this is another anomaly detection that we have. So you see that how actually can be easy. So just a couple of things. So the data that you provide can be daily, can be hourly, minutely, monthly, and the weekly and yearly. What I'm going to say that, if you remember in the code, we have a granularity as a daily and the other. So you can actually put it one. So you can, instead of the daily, you can just set number 3. So that's a 1. So you can have a daily, hourly, minutely, monthly, weekly, and yearly. If you have other one, then it's a bit become actually more complicated. There's a scenario that is not supported yet. So these only support the data that's in this format. What else? Yeah, so I already embedded the code in the slide, so you can actually look at that one. So another things that I'm going to talk about, actually, we can check that one, is about the entity extraction. So I'm talking about the features that we don't have it in Power BI. So before that, you remember that if you recently in Power Query, we have a text analytics. So text analytics that we have inside Microsoft Power BI is actually is going to connect to your actually account that you have. So for example, I think if I have it, I forget the one that I have one. So just ignore it. I will explain it through that one. So it's connect to your Power BI Premium. So you should have a Power BI Premium to access the service. So the service, what is provide? The service is actually going to connect to the Microsoft Cognitive Services. That is actually going to the text analytics. And under the text analytics, we have a couple of actually things like sentiment analysis and the other. Let me see that if we can check the demo over here, then I'm going to show you. So we have language detection. Just want to better see a demo on that. They change it, the website sometimes, so that's a bit things. Let me see that if they have a demo over here, so you can actually check it out. They didn't put the one here, so I will show it myself. Let me check, double check. It should be some way that you can check it yourself. Let me see that if they provide some, for example, here. No, they just provide some code. There should be some demo. They used to have some, but they actually change it here. Let me see that if we can. Oops. Oh no, they didn't. Yeah, so it's all good. Just check it again. No, okay, so I'm just going to provide some example that how it's actually used. So we have different things. We have key phrase extraction that you will see that is able to extract what is the main point of the text. We have language detection, and actually we have sentiment analysis that is going to tell you that a sentence is positive or negative. So these three, the language and the sentiment analysis, are available inside here. So if you connect to your Power BI Premium inside the actually Power BI desktop, you're able to access three of them. So, but still you should have a Power BI Premium. So if you have a Pro or using the free one, you couldn't use that. But still for the premium, we don't have the name entity recognition. It's not a really popular one compared to the sentiment and key phrase and language, but it still is one of the that actually can be really useful, and you can use it because it's able to detect the places and organization and the other. So I'm going to show you that how it's actually we can create that one. So again, same as the previous one, I'm going to create a new query, the blank query. The process is the same. And I'm saying that, for example, entity. And again, I need to go to the advanced editor. So this time I'm going to use kind of the same approach. So I'm just going to copy and paste the code over here. So you see that the code is the same for the cognitive services. Just this time we need to provide the text, and here is the body of the code that we have. So again, till here, kind of the same as what we have in the anomaly detection. We need the API, we need the region, we have an endpoint. There is a function named web.content that's going to connect and store back the data into the JSON, actually in one of the variables that we call it JSON response. And the rest is actually data transformation that actually we get a result. Now we want to show it to the user. So I need to provide the API key and the region. So this is my API, and I think it is South Central US again. Okay, I hope that it works. So it's actually, I'm going to test it. Now I'm going to write, I'm saying that land nice today. So we are in the springtime. So it's actually, I send this message over there. So as you can see, it's able to detect two objects. One is Auckland that actually even provide me a Wikipedia through that. So you can easily copy that one, or if you have a specific page, you can just copy and paste it. So it's kind of going to refer to the Wikipedia website and shows the information about the Oakland. And also another one is actually talking about today, that today is actually able to define, this is a date and time object. So it's able to detect the location and the date and time over here. So anything that you have is actually able to do that. So I'm back to the code that we have. And let me show it in the, not this one, the other one. And let me increase the font so it's showing better. So here is actually again the same. We have an API and we have an endpoint, and so similar to what we have. So it's actually is going to connect through that one. So it's you just provide the language, so it support different language, and so the only thing that you need to set it up is the which language you are going to parse. So it can be English. There are some of the languages supported, some not. I know entity extraction still is in preview, I think. So it's actually support some of the languages. I think Spanish and maybe Chinese and the other are supported. I need to check the list changing because they add some more one. So this is a one that actually we don't have it in any Microsoft kind of in Power BI. We don't have entity extraction, but we have the sentiment analysis and language detection and actually keyword extraction or key phrase inside for Power BI Premium user. So if you are a Power BI Premium user, you already access to that without writing any code. But if you are not, again, it's a very easy, the same process. I'm going to create a new query here, and I call it again, going to the advanced editor. And for example, I'm going to the sentiment analysis. Again, you see that for sentiment analysis, again, API key, the region, we pass everything to the function.web content and get the results. So I'm going to copy that one and paste it here. I just need to provide again the, let me close that one. We just need to provide the API key and the region. So let me do that. And also the region that is South Central US, so the same one. I will share the code with you. So after that, you can try it. So that is sentiment, just change it, oops. Sentiment. And here you can write, so I'm going to write and set that again, the Oakland weather is so nice and sunny today. And if I invoke that one, it should give me a number. So the number that is given to me, let me write it here so you can see that. So it actually give a number about this, 0.83. So that is shows me that how much this sentence, the Oakland weather is so nice and sunny, is positive or negative. So as much as it's close to number one, it shows that this sentence is really positive, and is close to zero, for example, less than 50%, it shows that that's a negative one. So I'm going to import a data set that I have about hotel review. If I just let me open it in the Excel. So I have a data set, a small data set like this, that some of the guests provide some information, like for example, one of them said, I wasn't aware of the extra daily cleaning, or other ones talking about the how the suite is good or bad. I'm going to import this data and apply the sentiment analysis through that, so you can see that how is can be useful. So let me doing that.
So the tool is so the tool is scanning all the text and evaluate the anomaly of the text.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's going to actually to find the sentiment under that one. So it's actually, so it's a sentiment one is going to apply to the text to find out how much the customer is happy or unhappy about our product.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of the another service compared to anomaly detection. So in the anomaly detection, the one that we have is actually, I have a data like this. I just want to find the anomaly, but this one is applying on the text. So it's a kind of the different scenarios.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to see that hotel. Let me see if I have a hotel review over here. Yes, recently one. So I'm going to show you different approaches to call the cognitive services without kind of paying the premium price. So this is one. And here, for example, this is my data. Another approach is actually using go to the add column, invoke a custom function. I'm going to apply sentiment on the guest comment. So this is a function that I have, and this is one. And let's see. So see that what's actually results. So here for each customer, let me remove everything except these two columns. Come on, remove other columns. Okay, so as you can see here for each of them, so the first customer are not really happy. It says that I was not aware of extra daily cleaning fee, room was meh, need upgrade. So it's a really disappointing customer. And you see that we get the number close to 0. That means that this customer is not happy. The other one talking really kind of different to what we have. So for example, it's a decent place to stay. Each unit is individually owned. So it's kind of different. Let me change it to the decimal one. So maybe showing is a bit better. I don't know why it shows in that way. Yeah, that's customer are kind of a bit different. So these are the different actually using the sentiment analysis and anomaly detection inside the Power BI. So I just want to provide you can see that how we can use these services. Start with the anomaly detection, and you see that. So if let me back to here. So you see that actually from anomaly detection to the language one that was text analytics, they are, if you want to call them, they are the same. For the other services in cognitive services, maybe we need to do some more changes, but the kind of the concept is the same. So you can try it, the other one, and see that maybe a bit harder, but still the same concepts will be applied. So about the material, actually, I have some kind of weblog about them. So if you go to the radakat.com, I wrote some of the blog posts about these scenarios, and also I have some videos. If you need, I can share it with you. Or kind of, if you go to the radakat.com author Leila, you will find. So this is the entity extraction, and also I have some other things for the language and the other. So everything is actually here. Also for anomaly, I have the anomaly one recently. I think it just
I recommend on this website. It's a great source of material, good material on posts. Great website. אני ממליץ מאוד על I will speak in Hebrew and explain what I said. אני ממליץ מאוד על האתר הזה, אתר שהוא מלא בחומר, ממש אוצר בנושא של Power BI ו-AI, ממש מומלץ האתר הזה.
Thank you. Thanks so much. So it's actually, I explain all of the process also here. Also the data, I put it here. So you can kind of check it out. I wrote everything here. So I can share that one later on with you guys, so you can see that. So this is a kind of the general concepts that I explained. So you see that actually how we can apply anomaly detection and entity extraction from a text in Power BI desktop. So if you have any question about how it works, this is my email address. Let me put it here. So this is my email address. If you have any more question about these services, I'm more than happy to see what's experience you have and is it good for your work or not. So really appreciate if you give me some feedbacks. I can also, if I couldn't kind of solve it, I can refer it to some of Microsoft people that they know that. Yeah, so it's kind of that. So any question?
I have a question. Okay.
Sure, thank you.
We saw a couple of tools that you're using on the Azure services.
Yes.
There are a few tools inside the Power BI. If you go to the Power BI, you have a group that called AI. How it's called it? AI Insights. Yeah. Those tools are for everyone or just the premium users?
Yeah, that's for just premium. Yeah, that's the thing actually. So this is just only for premium user. So here, for example, if I click on that, you see that is ask me to connect to my actually account. Currently, the other account is that's for MVP one is I don't know is working or not. I need to check it, but you should have a premium. So here is a place that actually check that are you a premium user or not. If not, it doesn't allow you to do that. So this is only that means that about $6,000 per month. So that's for the organizational one. So the approach that I'm showing to you is actually for mostly for the text analytics. You don't need to actually use that one. Oh, sorry. You can actually, for example, for sentiment, you can, instead of having a premium, you can use, write this code and do the same. The only difference is that when I'm set up the Azure one, so here I need to pay myself, but the actually price of using text analytics or anomaly detection in Power BI for the premium user is kind of the included. But if you're using as a separate one, you need to pay this one separately. So I think I have a text analytics, yeah. So it has a different pricing tier, for example, for text analytics. So you see that for the first 5,000 rows of the data is free. If it's going to 10,000 call per minute is change. So it's kind of the different pricing here. But if you're using the premium, you don't care about the pricing.
It's all included.
Still, I'm not sure. Maybe for the higher amount of the data, it can change. I couldn't say that, but I'm sure at least still a standard 1 or 2 should be covered.
Okay, I hope they will they will add a few of the tools, the AI tools, to the pro users. You know, there's
yeah.
I think the majority of the users are pro users, not premium, but who knows?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm saying that these you can still kind of use that approach through that, and yeah, but that's much easier. The other way is so easier. It's kind of yeah. Cool. Any other questions? Oh, thank you. Thanks so much. Really, thanks so much for the opportunity. It's great to present your user group. And
thank you. Thank you, Leila. If you have any question, you can type on the chat. אוקיי, פאדי. אם יש עוד שאלות, אנחנו נשמח לענות. ואם לא, אז אנחנו נוכל כרגע, you can, okay, the link and the email. Okay. They want you to write your email on the chat box. If you
sorry,
can.
yeah. Yep, that's
okay,
one. This can also increase the fonts a bit. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yep, this one. Leila at Radaka. Yep.
אוקיי, אז הנה היא מעבירה את המייל שלה כבר על הצ'אט, ואת הקודים שהיא הראתה, אתם רואים בעצם הם נמצאים באתר שלהם בדיוק.
Let me see that if I can share it in the chat menu. Is it Q&A or chat? Oh, there's a question. What is the limitation in terms of the data amount of this model? So, so there's two things. So first about the pricing that you can see here, but the other one is regarding the regarding the speed. It's not a really fast one. For big amount of the data, I try it. Sometimes it take a bit long, but I think it's still good for example, less than 10,000 rows of the data. The speed is good, but more than that, yeah, it's not really fast.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a problem that we have. But pricing, yeah, that's a pricing things that we need. And be careful about that because it's happened to me. So for the free version, we have actually just 5,000 rows of the data. I remember I applying to 15,000 and actually my free one expires. So just be careful about if you're using the free, just apply on 5,000 rows of the data, no more of that, because it will be kind of disabled soon.
אוקיי. אוקיי, אם יש עוד שאלות, אנחנו נשמח לענות. לילה תשמח לענות. אוקיי. You didn't pass your email on
I'm
the
just
chat.
checking that. Where is I'm trying to find the chat window. Okay. Is it Q&A one or no?
No, on the right hand side.
Okay. Oh yes, the chat. Sorry. Yes, sorry. Come on, where is that? In some scenarios, doesn't show me.
Okay, it doesn't matter. I will put I will put your email and your website, Radakad website with all the codes underneath the recording on the YouTube channel. It will be much easier, I think.
Yeah, and also I will send all of them to you. So could you please just share with them? So this is the actually the weblog about anomaly detection and the email. Sorry, sorry, I couldn't find that one.
No, it's okay. With pleasure. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so I want to thank you, Leila, for your participation on this webinar. It was a great pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
And I learned a lot of new things that I didn't familiar with. It's a whole world of the AI subject. So.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much. So if any questions or anything, yeah, more than happy to be answered after the webinar. So yeah, thank you.
אוקיי, אז אני אשים את כל הפרטים של לילה מתחת הסרטון ביוטיוב, ואם אתם רוצים לשאול את השאלות, כמובן, מוזמנים לפנות אליה ישירות. אז thank you, I will close the webinar now, and good morning to you, Leila, and good night for all the Israeli attendees.
Yeah, thank you. Good night, everyone. And yeah, be safe over there. So I hope that everyone be safe in this crisis. And I am happy that actually we can meet in person after this Corona.
Yeah, I love to. Okay. תודה רבה, ערב טוב ולילה טוב לכולם. אני שלומי כחברת יוניק. נתראה בוובינר הבא. ביי לכם, תודה רבה. ביי ביי.